Hola, amiga, and welcome to the Latina Leadership Podcast, a podcast by Latinas for all women. Get ready because today's conversation is really special.
Hola, and welcome to another episode of the Latina Leadership Podcast. As you can tell, I'm here in the van mobile, the Jefa mobile. We don't know what it's called yet, but we definitely were looking for names. So please let me know. Bueno, on today's episode, we had just a little hiccup on one of our locations, and we said, you know what? We don't want to miss the opportunity to continue to talk to the amazing Latinas and the amazing jefas here in the world of the space of entrepreneurship and, of course, across social. So we put out the word and we say, hey, please come on. I want to continue the conversations. And of course, the young, the beautiful sitting here next to me, of course, came on and said, hey, you know what? I'm up for it. So as I'm in Texas, she's in California. Here's what I do. Here's the question that I ask every person, every interviewee that comes onto the podcast is, who are you? Bueno, not who are you. What is your name and what do you do?
Hola, mucho gusto. Me llamo Myra, and I am a Pilates instructor turned entrepreneur, and I currently have two businesses. Business number one is Sazón grip. So we are one of the first, if not the first, Latina-owned grip socks brand with
Mhm.
all of our sock phrases in Espanol. And then number two, we opened up our Sazón Pilates studio in the city of Bellflower 30 days ago, 33 days ago. So we are a brand new Pilates studio.
Okay, so the socks is lo que me llamó la atención. It's
Mhm.
so I looked at the website and it's you got some pretty cool designs.
Yes. We have a
Yes,
lot of designs. We have Bichota for like Carol G right now, right? We have Inhala, Exhala because sometimes life is life. Y entonces it's like, respira,
uh-huh.
tranqui, right?
Yeah.
And then, the Jefa Mobile, the Chingona Mobile. I mean, maybe, no
Ooh, I
sabes.
like that. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so the grippy socks, as we all know, you use these for Pilates, right?
So you can use them for Pilates, Legree, lifestyle, yoga, puteria, coffee breaks, farmers markets, the gym. I mean,
I
todo.
love it. I love it. I
I
love it.
wear them
Okay.
every
I caught
day.
it. I
You
caught it.
caught it.
If you caught it, I caught it.
Yes.
If you caught it, you caught it. Bueno, on that note, I'll say this. I'll say this that the only time I've ever seen groupie socks was when I was given when every time I'm in the hospital. That's the only time I see them. They're the ugly blue socks that just aren't it ain't it. It ain't it. I don't want to be at the hospital and I definitely don't want to look funky while I'm at it.
Yes.
So, when we talk about the socks, what made you get into, I guess, the lifestyle, kind of like the clothing brand of things?
So I have been a Pilates instructor since 2018. Long story short, I lived in Asia for like 7.5 years. And
Uh-huh.
I hurt my shoulder in a CrossFit competition. And so I started doing Pilates in
Mm,
Asia. And
mhm,
I was teaching Pilates and I was playing like, like back in the day, like Pitbull and J Balvin, like kind of those more hits, but I was still there. And I didn't see Pilates socks in Spanish, period.
mhm,
And
mhm,
then COVID happened. I got stuck in Vietnam. And then I was teaching Pilates at the beach to my Latinas.
uh-huh,
And again, I didn't see Pilates in Spanish. Well, that was kind of not like normal because I'm in China and I'm in Vietnam. So, like, ¿por qué
mhm.
van a ver casetas en español, right? But
Yeah.
when I moved back to America in May of 2021, I started teaching at a Pilates studio. And, I'm over here playing my romanticas with Luis Me and Selena and, Un Verano Sin Ti in my classes. And a lot of these señoras and young women, they were Latinas and none of us had stocks in Spanish.
Okay.
So in 2022, I filed my business, got my ducks in order, started working on prototypes, and I created the socks because I did not see.
Mhm,
And now I see like two or three other brands happening. But when I'm talking about in 2022, 2023, and when I launched my first prototype in 2024, prior to launching April 1st of last year, I
mhm,
had never, ever, ever seen, at least in my area,
mhm,
or on social media, Latina grip socks. And so the idea came from wanting to create a product for Latinas to feel not only visible, but seen and have high quality products in our lenguaje. And
mhm,
I didn't want it to be just for like the girlies.
Mhm. Mhm.
because I want it to be something that your tias, your abuelas, you, your
Mm.
primas, and your daughters can wear and could relate to. And
Uh-huh.
so the socks are not just socks. They obviously they have a name. And from the names, it's the narrative of a story that a lot of us who are Latino or Latinx or
Mhm.
identify as Latin grew up in households with similar narratives that I feel a lot of us can relate.
What is the difference? So you went from Pilates to now being kind of like a, now you have a product. What is the difference from like that ownership? There's a lot of investment that comes into like having a product, the
Girl,
prototypes, what it looks
a
like.
lot.
I know. And so what is the difference from like being a Pilates instructor, owning a Pilates studio, or at least having like a group, right? And it's every day at a certain time, at a certain whatever, right? You can usually there's predictions that can happen, right? Now, in the industry of having the product and selling online or trying to get it in store, it is completely unpredictable. So, what was trending last year might not be trending this year. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
I've been in the Pilates industry since 2018. So for me, it's I can read a room. So I can read my clients, I could do my demographic, and I can kind of see like what might be a good opportunity or not. But honestly, it's been divine timing. It has really, I feel like Dios, my mom, los angelitos, Buddha, like they're all with me. It's seriously all aligning because it's just working out. A lot of the products, a lot of the launches, it's like years of hard work, like 2022 during the product research and development, like from my original design in 2024 to my first product launch in 2025. That was 14 months of product research development and quality test control. So the quality that we offer allows us to be um reliable and top
Mhm.
quality, which means that our clients, you can buy another grip sock, and they do because we're consumers. But 90% of the time, I hear it from my clients or I see it where the other grip socks just don't last. So all of the
Mhm.
the back end work that I did for those 18 months prior to releasing, as well as being able to read the room and divine timing has helped me so much. Like, check it out.
Mhm.
We're getting ready to launch a sock Papacito and Mamacita.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay. Tell me why Carol G has a billboard that says calling all papacitos. Divine timing, right?
Yeah, I think it's sometimes it's just about paying attention to the trends that are happening. There's always back talk that's happening in the background that we're listening to, and we truly have to listen and pay attention to what's happening because we can love our product, we can like our product as much as we want, but we're not selling it to ourselves only. We're selling it
Mm-mm.
to the group out there. And so when you talk about you're listening to your clients, what does like a professional truly really listen to when they're asking the right questions, or what are you picking up on when you say you listen to your clients? And this is for entrepreneurs who possibly want to have a product.
So I think one of my upper hands and advantages is that I am a Pilates instructor. So I know what it takes to perform. I am an athlete. And so all my life I've been working out. So I know what it takes to be a performance sock.
Mhm.
So that's an advantage that really, really helps me. Also, to circle back on your question, is not only following trends and listening to my clients, but asking questions. So I ask a lot of questions. And I do research like what are my competitors doing? What are we gather data. Um we test run the product multiple times. I'm not just blindly ordering and hoping that the socks work.
Mhm.
So before we launch a product, the socks are in our possession for like 2 to 3 months. We're looking at it. I'm wearing it BTS. um I'm
Mhm.
literally just doing what, throwing it in the washer, throwing it in the dryer. How many times is it gonna how does it change each time I wash, each time I dry?
Mhm.
So that's kind of what helps me behind the scenes
Mhm.
as an
You're making
entrepreneur
sure
also.
you're making sure it's a good investment for your client
Yeah.
because you don't want them to continue buying the socks, but you also want them to. And I like that. So when on the site, when I'm on your website, I see the different because aesthetically, I want to be able to match my socks. I don't just want to have white or black or blue or whatever it may be. And the fact that you have the arrange, I know these socks are gonna quality like soundly like be in my possession for quite some time. But I also wanted to match my outfit aesthetically.
Hmm.
I want it to be like a thing that I can sit there and I can switch up and I can still feel comfortable in it. Is that the way you keep like a client when you're paying attention, you're listening to them, you're like, oh yes, the stripes on the top and it looks like your running shoes and they has the grippy socks. Those are cute. But here, let me show you these that might actually work for you. And it has pink hearts and of course, it's coming through and then you're like, so can you tell me a little bit about kind of like how you go around that design aspect and how you really know. And I love the way you're talking about like keeping a client not happy but paying attention because you're the athlete and you're the pro athlete and now you're like going through washing cycles and drying cycles to keep
This is
these.
literally what we do with the product. I
Yes.
have my samples right there that are going to be released soon. I'm looking at them.
Uh-huh.
I wear my boyfriend's wearing them, my dad's wearing them, like, because he's not out there being like, "Ooh, these are my Pilates socks," right? He doesn't, that's not his thing, but he's secretly maybe wearing pink socks under, right?
I love it. So you're right. So when we talk about like the space in which you're like you're the person that you right you but you also want to make sure you keep the the buyer happy. You want to make sure that they keep
Mhm.
their socks for as long as they can, but still come back to reorder. So through the design process, how do you select? Because I've seen it, and you have some pretty. Whoever's like whoever's doing the design or whoever's selecting has a pretty good eye.
It's
Who is that?
me.
You? It's
I
you.
am the
You see?
designer. I literally like I go from like 2D I go from 2D sketches to so right now, for example, I have a sock in production in three variations.
Okay.
It and it's the same sock, but there might be like minor things. And then I get them and I sit with them and I look at them and I wear them. I wear them with high heels, I wear them with flats, I walk around descalza, just con calcetín. I put them on with sneakers. And then that's how the design evolves to like phase two, which
Hmm.
is like the production.
Hmm.
And now we're working a little bit, our team is expanding, and so you've seen the shift like from this new collection is going to really mark like how we're going to move forward. You have the sock with the matcha and teaser and tequila, right?
Uh-huh.
And we went with green because tequila and lime.
Hmm.
And so it's those
Mm,
little things, right? So
yeah.
like the
Yeah.
lime is verde, tequila, it's springtime, we're defrosting, right? I can mover el esqueleto. And so these all these little things that are going into the sock. It's not
Uh-huh.
just like doing that. I'll give you an example of like a more personal story. So
Okay.
last year I designed this one
Hmm. Oh.
and it says, "I like you elote."
Uh-huh.
Okay. And I originally was working on more like snacks.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And then I designed naranjas because I have an orange tree in my house and I look at my orange tree every day. And my
Uh-huh.
orange tree has literally like fed me my whole life.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And what happened last year is that the strike started to happen, right? Where ICE got really aggressive and ICE is still aggressive, but it was just I think it really took an emotional and social toll on all of us Latinos,
Mm-hmm.
and not even the Latino community, but like the Asian community and the Indian
Mm-hmm.
community and everybody, right?
Yeah, it
And
took us all
so
in one swipe. Yep.
it honestly, it's
Mm-hmm.
and it's still devastating, right? To think about what's happening because it could be done in a different, humane way,
Mm-hmm.
right? Not literally abducting people. But
Mm-hmm.
that's a different conversation for a different day. So to go circle back to these, what we ended up doing, because these are like my favorite childhood snacks, like from,
Mm-hmm.
being raised by my tia and begging for the elote or eating oranges, we use these socks to donate money to Chirla.
Mm-hmm.
Because why? Who's
Mm-hmm.
selling corn on the street? Who's selling oranges off the 5 freeway?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so not
Yeah.
only am I designing things that are, you know, in my Latina household, but you can relate to wanting el elotito,
Mhm.
right? Like with some
Mhm.
tajin mayonesa, like it's like
Mhm.
we grow up on it, right? But also using the socks and the designs to give back to our community as a collective, because the truth is that like a lot of us might not be in a position where we can donate our money to an
Mhm.
organization because of
Mhm.
fear, not
Mhm.
because we don't want to, but
Yeah.
because that information is public information and you might not be able to do it. Me,
Yeah.
I don't give a cluck. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like I'm a very like, when I believe in something, I'm very passionate about it. And so it was using the money, the business money,
Mhm.
to kind of use a greater good.
Mhm.
And so with those sock designs that answer your question about like
Yeah.
where do I get
Yeah.
these ideas from,
Yeah.
um we were able to partner up and then give money back to Chirla
Mhm. Mhm.
for every sock sale. So
Yeah.
not only are our socks for performance and Pilates and for being out in la calle or cafecito, but also using the designs with intention in
Mhm.
a situation where we can collectively as consumer buyers use our purchasing power to donate it to the greater good
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
humanity.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. I love the culture nuances because you're right. When you're looking at the elote and who is it, they're selling the bags of oranges on the side of the road and the elote is also, there's cultural nuances that happen within our community, but it's just kind of like well known, like worldly known that the elotes are very assimilated to like the Mexican American or the Mexican like, and you're right, you're right. It is, sí, son muchas, it's a lot of, it's a lot of like, as an entrepreneur to sit there and give back, but not really care about like what the others are going to say and how that's going to reflect. Because at the end of the day, I think honestly, history is paying attention. The books are going to be written, 50 years later, somebody's going to read about it. And I want to make sure that I'm also like on the right side of history, or at least on the side of history that, and I have so much thoughts, so many, 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 many thoughts on that. But thank you for explaining the design portion of it and how it does reflect back to like the cultural nuances and how giving back is very much important. How you kind of like just make sure you mesh those in a way that makes sense for you and your company. But
Yeah, and that's
no
how the
te,
designs go into play.
ujú, no te quiero quitar
So
mucho el
it's
tiempo.
tying into that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I definitely understand. But again, not to take away too much of your time today, because I know right now at 7 o'clock, it's on a Friday night, and girl, I'm sure you're probably like, I gotta go home. Well, unless
Girl,
you're
we're
home.
going to Bichota Records Flea Market.
Oh, is that where
We
you're
have to
gonna
talk
be?
about that.
Oh my
Yes.
God, is that where you're going tomorrow?
Yes. So Sazón Grip, hello.
I didn't.
We on our
Okay.
birthday. Girl,
Uh
on
huh.
April 1st, it's our birthday. I'm doing my managerial harassment training. Boom, boom, boom. I get a pop-up notification and I'm like, what is it? I read it, my jaw dropped in the middle of his harassment training on our socks. 1 year anniversary.
Uh
It's
huh.
Bichota Records Agency. Hey, we really like you. We discovered you last night. Can
Uh
you
huh.
pull up next Sunday to Bichota Records? My heart dropped. I cried.
I've seen a few vendors that are gonna be there. There's a few Texas vendors that are also gonna be there. So you're gonna be there
One
representing.
of them, what's her name? I really want to support her.
Chasing Camila. It's esta, yes,
Yes.
it's esta. Oh my God. My mind goes blank so many times. I cannot, but yes, Chasing Camila. She's the owner of Chasing Camila. She has these amazing guayaberas that are like crop top. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
get one. I have mine. I have, and I wanted. She has these beautiful pastel ones that are really gorgeous. When you got those pastels and it looks like Easter girl, hit me up and I will buy them by the dozen because those are my
Yes.
favorite colors. That is the thing that I go to pastels all the time. But I
Mm-hmm.
wish you a lot of success there at the Bichota Records. How far are you from there? And what time do you have to be there? Do you have to be there like at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning?
Well, we're gonna be there at 6, but the team and I are spending the night at a hotel.
Okay. Okay.
Not
So you're
in
good.
Palm Springs or Coachella Valley, but like somewhere around the area. And
Okay.
then we'll be getting there at 5:30 in the morning.
Okay. I wish you
Yeah.
so much success. Pero outside of that, so it sounds like Sazón, that's their next step is being at the beach on the records with Carol G and all of that other stuff. But aside from that, I love your grippy socks. I love your designs. What is next for Sazón?
So, what is next for Sazón? The studio or the grips?
The grips.
Total world domination.
Okay. 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 Okay.
um, that's a very complex question with a very complex answer.
Hmm.
My goal is to have be featured at like Becky G's Summer Market or at like Nordstrom's Latino Heritage Month as like a vendor. That
Hmm.
would be like the goal. That's what we're working for. Um, a more I will do it goal, right? Because that requires
Hmm.
not only my efforts, but the efforts of someone else agreeing, right? But on our effort, on our end, we're working on representing a little bit more of other Latino countries. And that's all I can
Okay.
say.
Okay.
Um, because we want to be inclusive and we
Hmm.
understand that all Latinos come from different narratives and different stories, and we are all united through our mother tongue and through cultura. And like, who doesn't love elote, right? Like,
Hmm.
choclo in Ecuador,
Hmm.
esquites,
Hmm.
right? Or, so, or atol de elote in Guatemala, where I'm from. And so just kind of bringing the culture together.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I love
that's
that.
that's what we're working with right now. That's the
Okay.
that's the feasible goal. The dream is total world domination
Hmm.
nationwide.
Hmm.
Yeah. To
Yeah,
use our
South
powers for
American.
good, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I yes, yes. I wish you all the success at Bichota Records coming tomorrow. I definitely will make sure to send it out um to the audience that is either going to attend or who's going to be in that valley that day. Perhaps they're not going to go to Coachella, but they're going to go to the market to make sure that you guys are doing all the great things. One, I wish you lots and lots of success with not only that, but the Creepy Socks in its forthcoming, of course, with the amazing quality that you're creating, making sure that like all of that, not all of that, but like all of it. Forgive me because I have my husband and my friend right here looking at me and they're making me nervous as hell. And I'm like, what the
Girl,
fuck are
I
they
feel
doing?
you. Don't worry. I took my
What the hell
boyfriend
are
and
they
my
doing?
dog out. I was
Este,
like,
bueno, I do. I wish you lots and lots of success on Beach Other Records. And of course, the Creepy Socks, not only that, but the studio itself. I tried Pilates over a decade ago. So when I seen your grippy socks, and then it reminded me how I ended up with vertigo in the hospital, and I was like, I should probably get back to the gym. I should probably get back to a space where I can start looking at my physical, but my mental. Girl, there's a lot of things when I visit your website when I was like, oh my God. It because again, the grippy socks just took me right back to the hospital, and I was like, vertigo. How did I get vertigo?
yeah.
And what am I doing? What am I doing with my life when all I have to do, what happened with the vertigo is I turned around in bed and I got up and then that was it. Forget it. I started throwing up because I got vertigo. And then the doctor said something about like the crystals in my ears. I'm like, you know what this sounds like? This sounds like woo woo. So I need to get my woo woo ads back into the gym. So thank you. Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
One
No, no,
last
no.
questions. One last question before I let you go. Because on here I always ask this for entrepreneurs who want to have a product just like yours and who want to gain the traction with their community to be able to service their community. What kind of advice or what is one source of advice that you would give?
Don't do it for the money. Don't do it for the money.
Okay.
You're going to work 30 hours a day. You're not going to get paid. It's going to be hard. Don't do it for the money. You have to be so passionate about it because it has to give you the energy to go.
Okay.
And if you are doing it for the money, you might get the money or the money might come. But what happens when you get the money and you're satisfied? When
Mhm.
you're passionate about something, it's not that you're never satisfied, but you love it. It's part of you and it serves a greater good.
Mhm.
And I think that that is the one thing that you need. It can't be about the money, it can't be about the fame, it can't be
Mm.
about like being cool because all of that's going to happen. Money's going to happen, being cool is going to happen. Whatever you want is going to happen. But if you're chasing money, I think that, and it might be because I'm not motivated by money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I quit $125,000 job to give a chance on me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? As a Pilates instructor, I was in that field I was making that much money a year. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, you know what? Like, honestly, like, nah, like, let me do it. And I didn't pay myself for many months. And
Mm-hmm.
I kept going. And now we're here. We're at
Mm-hmm.
Carol G's flea market in 1 year. And
Mm-hmm.
my advice to you is just don't do it for the money.
Okay.
Just don't. I would say that's just me. Like, that's just my opinion, and I think that that's what the beauty about entrepreneurship is, that you're going to get some of it. Someone might say, do it for the money, right? But it's there's no right or wrong thing about entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I don't believe in competition. Like, I will
Mm-hmm.
never, ever have competition. Sazón Grip
Mm-hmm.
stands alone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the things that we have to understand, is that we don't have competition. It's, at least for us, it's not about money. And I
Mm-hmm.
want to say that, like, the team that we've built, we have a solid team, and we have interns from Cal State LA right now,
Okay.
that are helping us. So not only are we affecting, like, are we creating jobs, are we creating a community, but we're also at a college level affecting the
Mm-hmm.
lives of students. I think that everybody in the team understands the assignment, and it's about, like, the greater good, and, like, everything else is gonna come.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my advice in a nutshell. Yeah, you have to be passionate about it.
No, I hear you and I get it. Um, Thank you. If I can just add on to that, because I love the passion that you're bringing to it. Entrepreneurship is going to bring you lessons that life you cannot buy, you cannot purchase, even if you, no matter how hard you try, no matter what it's not, because it's not one linear way and space to be able to do it. The life lessons that you're taught as an entrepreneur cannot be, they can't be reproduced with whatever cost of money. They can't. And you're right. You're right. To stay in it, you really have to have the passion for it. And if you're not in it for the passion, your heart's gonna break even harder.
Hmm.
You're gonna break your
Yeah.
own heart, and that's the last thing you want to do, is break your own heart. But truly, if you want to live a life to the extreme of what the way you want to wake up whenever you want to wake up, if you want to work till 3 o'clock in the morning and then not work for the next 5 days because you knew you got it right the first time, and however it goes, you really, really have to do it for the passion of
Hmm.
the product, for the passion of yourself, for the passion of whatever community it is that who and what you're selling it to. You have to. I think that's amazing. Worldly, worldly advice. Gracias. Thank you
A
so, so
ti.
much. Thank you so, so
Gracias a
much.
ti. Yes, I'm excited. I've been
Yes.
following you on
Yes.
Instagram, and I was like, oh my God, what? And I was like, you know what? Let
Yeah.
me take a chance on me,
Yeah.
because why
Yeah.
not? And now
Yeah.
we're here.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Muchas gracias.